Hi, this is Paradox class for April 3rd. Today, I want to start with another variation on Knights and Knaves type of puzzle. It's a riddle called two-door riddle. It's a really good one. So let's get right to it. Okay. So this is the two doors riddle. So you come to a room where there's two doors leading out of the room. One of the door leads to your destiny. So this is where you want to get to. The other door, if you accidentally open it, it leads to your certain doom, and you don't know which door is which. There are two guards, one standing in front of each door. One guard always tells the truth when you ask them a question. The other guard always lies when you ask them a question, and you don't know which is which. You are allowed to ask one guard one question, and you want to figure out which door leads to your destiny just from this one question. So here's the situation. What question should you ask to determine which door you should take? So there's a couple things I want to point out. One of the differences between the Knights and Knaves puzzle is that in this case, you know that there's one guard who always tells the truth and one guard who always lies. It's not either both knights or both knaves. No, you know beforehand, uh, one of them is a knight and one of them is a knave. So that's one difference. And another difference is that you get to ask what information you want from them. So, so you get to ask one guard. You don't know who, if this guard is telling the truth or not, but you get to ask one guard one question. So this is a difficult problem, but I want you to think about it, and answer have to come in two parts. One is what's the actual question you should ask, and the second part is that why does your question work to figure out which door leads to your destiny and which one is the one you shouldn't take, the door to that certain doom. So try to think about it. I encourage you to pause this. Um, if you can't figure it out, I will reveal 3 hints one at a time, and see if you can figure out uh, what question you should be asking and why your question works, uh, just by trying to figure it out with the fewest number of hints as possible, right? Give it at least a couple minutes between each try. Okay, so I encourage you to pause now. Okay, so if you've thought about this a little while, I think you come to a conclusion, like most people do. So, so hint number one is that most people could figure out what to ask if you're given two different questions, right? One question is to figure out if the guard you're asking is being honest or is a liar. And then once you figure that out, you could ask them a question to figure out which is the right door. So this is what you could do if you were given two questions, but you're not given two questions. So the first hint is to give up on figuring out who's telling the truth and who's a liar, and figure out which is the right door using just one question. That's the first hint. So pause the video and see if you can figure out what question you could be asking, focusing on a question about doors. And if you can't figure it out, start up the video again and we'll get to the hint number two. Okay. All right. If you're still not quite sure what question could give you something about the door because you don't know if they're telling the truth or they're lying, um, try to ask a question. Try to figure out a form of a question where both would have the same answer. So it doesn't matter if you're asking the honest guard or the dishonest guard. Either way, you'll get the same answer. So try to think what kind of question would give you an answer like that, and also keeping in mind that your question have to give you some information about the doors. So keep those two things in mind and see if you can ask the question that would lead you to the right answer. Again, I encourage you to pause the video. If you can't figure it out, I'll give you one more hint before spoiling the answer. So try it out. Okay, here's the final hint. Um, the type of question you can ask that would get you the same answer is this form. So if you ask something to a guard about what the other guard would say, then it turns out that what the answer you get should be the same, even if you ask the honest or the dishonest guard. So try to use this hint. Try to phrase the question so that you're asking a guard about what the other guard would say. See if you can figure out the form of the question then. Try it out, and when you get the answer, or if you if you give it an honest shot and you still can't figure it out, I'll spell the answer. Um, right, go ahead. Okay, I'm gonna spoil the answer now. The question you should be asking is which door would the other guard would say is the door to the destiny? And then once the guard answers, you should take the opposite door, the opposite of what the guard says. And here's why this would work. Okay. If you happen to ask the question to the honest guard, the honest guard would be honest about the other guard, the dishonest guard, pointing to the door of a certain room, right? So in that case, taking the other door would get you to the door of destiny. So that works out in the case you asked it to the honest guard. If you happen to ask the same question to the liar guard, the liar guard would lie about the other guard, the honest guard, pointing to the door of your destiny, right? So the liar guard would point to the door of certain doom. But then again, since either way they point to the door of certain doom, you could take the door to your destiny. So it would work. It's a pretty cool puzzle, right? I encourage you to, if this was too fast, rewind it as possible and try to see if you can give this riddle to your roommate or your family and see if they enjoy it, see if they can figure it out. I think it's a fun problem. All right, that's it for this video. One more video for today.